Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us in today's session. Today's session promises to be great, right? Today we have two wonderful sessions. The first session talking about security. The second session also talking about security. I hope you are excited to be here. So if you're joining us, I know on our YouTube, you're joining us on Teams, or if you're watching this recording, I'm sure you're going to actually get the best of the experience for today's session. So the first session that we have today, we'll be talking about Azure Security Center and best practices for cloud security, right? So this is one of the important tools that Microsoft has actually, released for Azure security engineers, Azure security architects, to ensure that their infrastructure is actually well secure. Now, today I will introduce myself. My name is Emmanuel Itoje. I'm a Microsoft MVP. I'm also enterprise system engineer working at InterSwitch. So today we have our speaker today, who is Imo Etuk. Imo Etuk is actually senior technical architect and as well as a Microsoft MVPs. Joining us today, that will be actually be exposing us to this particular solution. Mr. Imo, before I actually hand over the mic to you, I have a question, right? This
Okay.
question, Microsoft renamed Azure Security Center to Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Now, the
Yes.
question is this, apart from the renaming, was there any other thing that is different between the Azure Security Center and the Microsoft Defender for Cloud? Are there differences between the two, apart from
Yes,
renaming?
yes, yes. The renaming comes with a lot of improvement and a lot of addition of services and capabilities. So with before now, when it was referred to as Azure Security Center, it was basically not the multi-cloud purpose. But now with Microsoft Defender for Cloud, it is now a multi-cloud platform whereby you can centrally manage security posture across other cloud platforms and not just Microsoft Azure. So there have been a lot of improvement. And before now, the policies there were like more than up to 100, but now there are about over 150 security policies built into Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So there have been a major differences and addition. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much for clarifying the thing. I think we have
You're welcome.
Olali Bello join us. Thank you so much, Olali, for joining us. So before you join, I
Yeah.
only had Mr. Emo questions around the goal behind Microsoft renaming Azure Security Center to Microsoft Defender for Cloud, and he just provided an answer. So I'm going to hand over the mic to you, Mr. Emo. Can you take us into the cloud-based practices for cloud
Okay.
security? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel, and thank you for having me, and also thank you everybody for joining. I really appreciate your time for this section. So just as Emmanuel has introduced, my name is Imo Etuk. I'm Microsoft MVP in the Microsoft Azure category, and I'll be your presenter today. And before we start, this class is going to be, this section, not class space, is going to be an interactive section whereby a welcome question, feel free to interrupt and ask question where you're not clear. There's no problem about that. So what we have today is Azure Security Center and best practices for cloud security. Mind you, the topic is captured just to ensure that it's about Azure Security Center, not really so the presentation is going to be dwell more on the renaming convention because Microsoft recently changed the name from Azure Security Center to Microsoft Defender for Cloud. And so the section is going to be centered on Microsoft Defender for Cloud, which is the same thing as Azure Security Center. Then we're also going to touch base on the IAM and Azure RBAC services, which has to do with you managing policies within your Azure services, how you should have the privilege access level to your resources. So now for agenda that we have today, we are going to be looking at what is Microsoft Defender for Cloud. We are going to also talk about use cases, look at the overview, and then features and why Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Then we look at some best practices for securing cloud resources. We're also going to be talking about identity and access management in Azure. And we're also going to be looking at a quick demo in Defender for Cloud and a bit of RBAC setup. So we take some question and answers, and then we wrap it up. There's going to also be, at the end of the day, we are going to also share some extended links for you to further learn your rope along cloud security, and mostly as it has to do with Azure. So now moving forward, so we look at what is Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Microsoft Defender for Cloud, to someone who is just an entry level into what Azure or Azure Cloud Security is a cloud platform that is a resource that gives you a central dashboard, whereby you can centrally manage all your cloud security posture. With the renaming of Azure Security Center to Microsoft Defender for Cloud, you have an extended features that enables you to manage security posture across all other cloud platforms, such as AWS, Google, and even GitHub Advanced Security as well. You can also as well manage cloud security posture in your containerization environment, such as Docker and all that. So we delve into what we have. So on the screen, we have that Microsoft Defender for Cloud is a cloud native application protection platform, Synapse, with a set of security measures and practices designed to protect your cloud-based application end-to-end by combining the following capabilities. So the first capability is that we have development security operations, which has to do with DevSecOps solution. So here you see that you can, with Microsoft Defender for Cloud, you can seamlessly integrate security into your GitHub workflow. When you are writing your GitHub actions, developing your workflow, you can easily just, using the feature called CodeQL that is powered by GitHub, you can easily integrate it with your Microsoft Defender for Cloud for code scanning. Before code gets to the production environment, your Microsoft Defender for Cloud can be integrated to ensure security scanning around your code. So now, Microsoft Defender for Cloud being used for DevSecOps offers you an opportunity to embed security checks and policies at the early stage, directly into your development lifecycle. So this approach ensures that potential vulnerabilities that can be realized at the stage of production is checked at the early stage. So with that one, your CI/CD pipelines ensures that your codes, you are deploying a usable and quality product. And this Microsoft Defender for Cloud also goes beyond you just working on Azure. With Microsoft Defender for Cloud, you can be assured that you can easily link your AWS account and Google account into the central environment, whereby you can visualize everything that happened there. So as we move on, we get to see some use cases later. So now you see a guy coding, and that guy that is coding there, you have to do some integration within the GitHub workflow. And also, Microsoft Defender for Cloud also offers you what is called Cloud Security Posture Management, CSPM. So for CSPM, you're able to manage security across Azure, just as I said before, AWS, and Google. So it also offers you what is called Cloud Workload Protection Platform. With a Microsoft Defender giving you the feature of Cloud Workload Protection Platform, you're able to monitor security posture around your resources, like the servers, VM, virtual machine in this case, containers. You can also use it for your Azure Kubernetes services, and also can use it for your storage, such as Azure Blob Storage, and also databases, Azure Database as well. So you can also use it to know the critical workloads that needs to be attended to. You need to check the security posture around all your resources and all that. So I'm still going to go back to talk about some use cases in this case. So what you can protect with the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, you can protect your databases, your virtual machine, both on-prem and on the cloud. You can also protect your servers and network as well. So we are going to look at some use cases. If you have if you want to implementing security scan with GitHub Advanced Security. Now, for GitHub Advanced Security, can seamlessly integrate with Defender for Cloud to scan your code for security risk in real time. So I'm going to be bringing out a code that I have already written here. So in this code now, we have there is what they call a code QL. So for this code now, this workflow now you see will configure a GitHub Actions pipeline that triggers on every code that you push to your main branch. So analyzing the code using code QL, which is seamlessly integrating with Defender for Cloud. So at the early stage, Defender for Cloud pulls insight from GitHub Advanced Security, allow security teams in your development team to monitor code level vulnerabilities across all the pipelines. So now this code is set to run at 12 a.m. every Sunday and every Sunday. So as it runs, it will trigger the security check. As long as it has been integrated with Microsoft Defender for Cloud, which work hand in hand with GitHub Advanced Security. We are going to also further see how they appear in the dashboard when we talk about the Microsoft Defender for Cloud demo. So now, moving further, going back to the slide, we have we are now done with that. Please, if you have any question, let me know. Let me see if there's any chat. Okay. So now for overview, in the aspect of in the content of context of Microsoft Defender for Cloud, once you sign in, the overview page offers you 4 major components. You see the overview page, which gives you the security posture that enables you to gain visibility into your subscription security state and compliance. It also gives you a place to take a snapshot look at your inventory of your resources. How many resources you have deployed? If you see from the screen, I have a total of 5 resources that are currently deployed in my environment, in my subscription. Now, we also give you what is called security regulatory compliance. Regulatory compliance summarizes the security state of monitored resources within your subscription. It also gives you room to look at the workload protections. Here we summarize advanced threat detection security alerts when using advanced threat detection. So here you can easily just analyze the cloud network activity and using virtual machine learning and advanced detection to be able to target the resources that you deployed within your subscription. So these are the 4 major components that you are going to see in the overview page of your Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So now the dashboard, when you go in deeper, the dashboard also looks exactly like this. You get to see the security assessment at a glance. So it gives you an opportunity to understand the security states of your cloud services, as well as on-premises virtual machine as well. Now we go further to features of Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Now we've spoken about, I've already explained that we have, it will give you some insight into security posture management, which is very important. Now, under security posture management, you're able to use Defender to assess your environment to identify and highlight potential vulnerabilities and misconfiguration within your resources. For instance, if you create a VM, normally, once we create our virtual machines on Azure, what we do is to ensure that we have a network interface card attached to that VM. Best practice says that in your subnet or your internet, your network interface card, you should attach what is called network security group. But once you omit that, Microsoft Defender for Cloud will mark it as vulnerability. it will show right in the recommendation area that what you should do. That VM without NSG should be either disabled or you should attach NSG to it. So that's what it will show you. So now another one is it gives you a threat detection and response. Here you can use Microsoft Defender for Cloud, the tools within Microsoft Defender for Cloud to detect threat and also identify and respond to attacks whenever they come. Here it is using the Microsoft Defender for Cloud use AI-driven threat intelligence to detect malicious activities within your subscription. Assuming you have a lot of people in your environment, so many of the users who are trying to abuse the environment, Microsoft Defender for Cloud is going to detect and scan and detect and also alert you on time. So we also move down to compliance management. Microsoft Defender for Cloud offers you compliance monitoring capabilities. Here you can track compliance with regulatory standard like GDPR and HIPAA, HIPAA, and also understand also with the ISO, you can stay compliant. This will help you to assess your environment against built-in policies and the security benchmark. Now we also have a multi-cloud and hybrid support. With Defender for Cloud, there's support for AWS and GCP as well. So you can easily just use Defender for Cloud to monitor and protect workloads, not just in Azure, but also in those other cloud provider platforms. Now we also have security workload that also extend beyond the cloud, but to your own premises. You can also use it to monitor and secure your hybrid workloads that may be deployed on premises and connected to Azure as well. For those of you who set up maybe VPN access to your on-premises, making your on-premises resource to talk to Azure, maybe site-to-site VPN or point-to-site VPN, you can also use Defender for Cloud to track those resources on premises. So that's how it works. Now we also have automated remediation and response. Microsoft Defender for Cloud offers you this feature to be able to detect common security tasks, automate common security tasks, such as applying patches and responding to alerts, which helps reduce the response time that you will have done maybe manually. So it offers you this. Now, if you have any question, let me know. So now going further, we have why use Defender? Why do we need to use Defender? So why we need to use Defender is that it will enable us to understand the security state of all our Azure subscription, as well as other cloud platforms like the AWS. That centralized management features that is embedded with Microsoft Defender for Cloud makes it to stand out among other security tools. Now, you also need why you also need it is that it will help you to find and fix vulnerabilities, resources, and configurations. It offers you enhanced visibility for control, whereby with Microsoft Defender for Cloud, you get centralized visibility and control over your security posture across cloud and hybrid environment. Now, it also offers you easy access to easily deploy and monitor security solution from partners. Now, within Microsoft Defender for Cloud, but for you to be able to enjoy a partner solution, you need to be at the standard tier. Let me even explain a bit about the cost. When you sign up for Microsoft Azure, your subscription is given 30 days free trial for Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So when you exit the 30 days, you need to upgrade. So for you to have access to partner solution, you need to be at the standard tier. You can refer to Microsoft pricing docs for Microsoft Defender for Cloud to be able to understand how it is charged and all that. So it will also help you to detect active threat early and respond fast. Only standards only. So it can also help you to integrate with other existing security processes and tools. So you can also use it to integrate with other security tools easily. Now we need to move down to another topic, which has to do with the best practices that we need to talk about. Now, Microsoft put on some best practices in place that you need to have. You need to, number one, you need to enable security posture across all environments. So one of the things is that. So when you are talking about Microsoft, when you have signed up for Azure, it is recommended that you enable your Microsoft Defender for Cloud. That's one of the best practices. So enabling this feature offers you an overview of your cloud environment security posture at a glance. By enabling posture management, you will gain insight into misconfiguration, compliance gaps, and security recommendation where you can use to make improvement within your Microsoft Azure environment and even other cloud provider environment as well. So it also offers you that. So another one is you need to implement and enforce least privileged access. Now, a lot of employees can easily just abuse their access right, when they have it in excess. So the concept of zero trust, which is built around the identity management, says that you should always verify it and maybe and also release the access that the employee needs to do his or her job. So do not give them role or access and privilege as well. So also enable threat protection for workloads. Now for workloads, your workload needs to be protected. Defender for Cloud offers you what is called Cloud Workload Protection Platform. So this will help you to detect and also alert you about key security infraction within your environment on time. So we also have another best practice is that you should enable work threat now use secure score to prioritize and track security improvement. You can use secure score at a glance. Okay, let's assume in your Defender for Cloud, you see a numeric representation of your organization's security posture. It comes in the form of number. What you are showing how well your resources are configured against Microsoft best practices. So you need to regularly monitor and track your secure score to quickly identify areas needing attention. Maybe you need to prioritize this. You can be secure score, you'll be able to prioritize your remediation actions and be able to measure improvement over time. So secure score is very, very important. Higher scores indicate a stronger security posture. So continuously working on secure score recommendation keeps your environment to align with security best practices that you need. Now another one is you need to also establish and monitor compliance standards with regulatory assessment. Now compliance is very crucial when it comes to the aspect of cloud security, especially regulated industries. There are a lot of companies that maybe like healthcare sector, financial sector, and other ones that are mostly regulated. You can use Cloud Defender, which includes all built-in compliance and assessment for framework, such as maybe ISO 2007, and even NIST and GDPR, among others. So Defender for Cloud enables you to stay compliant with this compliance body. So enabling this regulatory assessment to automatically audit your environment, monitor compliance, and all that is the work of the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So that is that for best practice that you need to do. Now, let's talk about, do we have any question as regard Microsoft Defender for Cloud so far? Okay, I forgot to mention, Microsoft Defender for Cloud has over 150 built-in policies as we speak. Now, I was speaking about the pricing. You can also explore further to know about the charges and all that. So now let's talk about identity and access management. Now, when we talk about identity and access management, we simply refer to the component, the collection of all those components that make up the Microsoft, the identity and access management. So one of such component is the role-based access control, RBAC. So now Microsoft Azure offers you a central place to manage who has access to your resources, to your Azure resources, and also has access to other things, maybe to alter other user rights and all that. So all those things features are powered by identity and access management, and we are going to look at it right now. So the number one is role-based access control. Now, Azure IAM uses RBAC to grant fine-grained access permission based on user roles, such as you can have the reader role, which is just for you to read through, not making modification. You can't delete, can write. So you can also have the contributor role, which gives you an elevated access at least to implement solution or to create deploy a solution or resource within Azure environment within a particular tenant. So now we also have the owner role, and there are a lot of roles which you can also check out later. So with RBAC, you can assign users only the permission they need to perform their specific task, reducing the risk of you having to have unauthorized access and accidental changes within your environment. So another component of IAM there is Microsoft Entra ID. It's formerly known as Azure Active Directory. Now, Microsoft Entra ID is the backbone of identity management in Azure. It provides authentication and authorization for users, applications, and services that you have within your Azure environment. It also works across Microsoft 365 environment as well. So you can, with Microsoft Entra ID, you have access to components such as SSO, single sign-on, multi-factor authentication. You can also manage security access using conditional access policies to secure user identities as well. So another component which I just mentioned is the conditional access policies. So within Azure, the Azure, we have access to use conditional access policies, which allows you to create rules that control access based on specific conditions. Some specific condition could be maybe the user location, device health, maybe sign-in risk, or maybe a typical travel location where you don't know that the user. So for example, if maybe you have access to my own environment now, and there's a vulnerability discovered with your account, Microsoft conditional access policies gives me an opportunity to configure that it should require multi-factor authentication for verification for access outside maybe a trusted network. Let's assume you are in Lagos, Nigeria today, and now you go to a location whereby it's not familiar, and it will trigger an alert. So when you are trying to sign in, you need to verify using MFA, multi-factor authentication. So those are some of the benefits of using conditional access. It does not just work within user. You can also use it as cloud app security. Use it to guide against vulnerabilities to your cloud apps, maybe such as Microsoft 365, SharePoint, and all that, and other apps. Now, multi-factor authentication is also one of the components of your IAM security. So with Microsoft, with multi-factor authentication, you can use it to enhance identity security. All what we just need to do is to enhance by adding additional layer of security beyond password. You need to prove yourself who you are and what you own. So that's what that's what multi-factor authentication does. And it requires you to verify yourself. You can be there are many methods. Most time for best practice, for security best practice, I always advise people to use double layer of MFA verification. One can be authentication app, Microsoft Authenticator app, or SMS, a combination of SMS and authentication app. I don't go the route of email because anybody can lay hold of your email account and can have access to it. But number one is that email that are not powered by Microsoft, maybe like Yahoo or other ones, might not be that secure. So most time it is very recommended that you use double layer authenticator app and SMS. Now there's another feature that is called just-in-time access and privileged identity management, PIM. So now you use privileged identity management in Azure to provide temporary, maybe time-bound access to a high-risk role. Like it is not recommended that you give high-risk role could be maybe global admin. Global admin account, giving it to anyhow person can jeopardize the security situation of your environment. So it is always very important that you use privileged access identity management to control access. Now, the just-in-time, known as JIT, helps you grant temporary access to Azure resources, such as virtual machines. I use just-in-time access a lot for virtual machines access. So this combination of these tools will help you to reduce the risk of prolonged access to sensitive resources, limiting potential security exposure as well. So another one is, sorry, let me go back there. Yes, I manage identity. Let me talk about that management because it's very important. Managed identity is very, very important in the sense that it offers you for applications and services running in Azure, it can allow them to authenticate and access other Azure resources. For instance, if you have maybe one resource that wants to have access to another one, maybe application that run in an environment wants to read other services in your environment, manage identities helps in this case. So it's always best practice that you use it. Okay, now we are done with the explanation. So let's go to the portal and take a look at the quick demo that we have and how you can use Microsoft Defender for secure your environment. So I'm going to go to my portal. Confirm you can see the screen. So now in this place, I have now if you click, you just search for. If you search for Microsoft for Azure Security Center, I want to show you. Now you see that when you click it, it takes you to Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So if you click Azure Security Center, once it opened, this is Defender for Cloud straight. So if you can see, it's telling me to enable Microsoft Defender for Cloud, enhance security features for 30 days. I can start it. Now I will just go straight, and into my right-hand side, I can see some of the highlights of costing and all that. So I'm just going to go and open Defender for Cloud. In this place now, I can go to recommendations straight. Okay, let me take a look at this interface as I spoke about it earlier. Yeah, I have security posture, which simply shows me some of the critical security conditions of my environment. Now, if you look at it, we have regulatory compliance, I have been able to pass, here is pass 55 of 63 control passed. So I take time. Now let's go to recommendations. In this recommendation now, you see that we have there is no resource that is reported to be high risk, no risk calculated. Now here we have environment. Okay, let's talk about it. It is tied to Azure subscription, AWS account, GCP project, GitHub connectors, Azure DevOps as well, GitLab, and Docker Hub as well. So you can use this to verify all the connection to your other environment. It's not just Azure alone. So having said that, let's go back to what is called, because I have a VM within my environment that is not secured by NSG. So I want to see if Microsoft Defender for Cloud will ask me to take action. So now in this place now, let's search for, these are built-in policies within the environment. Now let's search for, trying to admit someone. Let's search for internet-facing virtual machine without internet-facing virtual machine should be protected. There's a policy called that should be protected. With network security groups. So once I enter, let me uncheck this filter that is here already. Internet facing virtual machine. So internet facing virtual machine should be protected with the network security group. This is a policy, a built-in policy in this place. So I can click one to see the vulnerability, to see if there's any virtual machine without the NSG. Now let's see, you see this resource now. This is the resource without NSG. It will show you not evaluated. Now let's see. If you click this resource now and go to the network settings, now you see that it will tell me to add network security group. The reason why is not highlighting for me to fix is because I'm not really enable it because I don't want to incur costs. Now, if you are using the standard plan that has been enabled, everything is fully working. In this place, if you click fixed, it will show you the step. Of course, these are the steps. But then it has been able to detect one of the resources that is not well protected. For instance, if I go to this place, I know if I fix it now, if I fix this vulnerability now by adding network security group to that VM, it will actually stop showing that, and it will take 25 minutes. Note when you discover vulnerabilities and you apply the fix to it, it takes 25 minutes for the vendor for cloud for that changes to reflect. So if I go here and add NSG to my virtual machine, it will add automatically. And it will take 25 minutes for Defender for Cloud to detect that the vulnerability has been corrected or has been fixed. Is that okay? So in case if you have any question, I would like to take. I think I have 3 minutes left. This is a 45-minute section, and I think I've kept to time. So I would like to take question if you have. So another one is that I would like to share some further learning material that you links to further learning, because your learning doesn't stop here. So if you look at the chat section, I'm pasting links for you to further explore cloud security as related to Microsoft Azure. So if you check the chat, you see links there. So if you have questions, let me know. The recording of this call will be made available to everyone within next week. So you can always check the YouTube channel for Microsoft Azure Community to watch the recording. So Emmanuel, thank you very much for having me. Thank you everybody for joining. I've come to the end of my presentation. Hi, Emmanuel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Imo, for that wonderful presentations. So guys, the floor is open for question and answer. So if you have any questions so far, based on the best practices that we've learned in this particular meetup, can you, raise up your hand, or if you want to drop them in the chat? It's actually expected to be an interactive session. So if you want to ask questions, just raise up your hands and I'll call upon you. You can ask your questions around what we discuss. Okay, Lol, I can see you typing. Is that a question, or do you want to raise up your hands and talk instead? Guys, don't be shy. If you have questions that you want to clarify, just raise up your hands then. Go ahead and answer the question and ask the question. Okay, Lolly, thank you so much for that feedback. Lolly is saying that I want to say that the session is awesome. Thank you so much, Imo, for that wonderful session. It was actually very impactful.
So in the absence of question, maybe I'll ask a question so you answer. So during my presentation, I actually made mention of the number of security policies, built-in security policy within Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So anybody remember the answer? And also, I also made mention of the time it takes. Once you fix a vulnerability that is discovered, how many minutes does it take to reflect? And also,
you mentioned 25. You said 25 minutes.
25 minutes, okay. I also spoke about the pricing option. You can benefit from a whole lot of maybe using other third-party security tools by upgrading to standard tier, not using the free version. And also, note that once you sign up for Microsoft Azure, you have 30 days free trial for Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So best practice also, some of the best practices that we may mention is for you to take notes and all that. So, and follow through in the link that we have that I've shared in the chat to explore more, mostly about this concept of zero trust security to stay abreast with your cloud security posture. Thank you. So
let me ask you a question before the next session, right? So
okay.
If I want to turn off Microsoft Defender for Cloud for my environment right now, is it possible that I can turn it off for particular resource? Like, okay, I just want to turn Defender for Cloud for just server only, or for app services only, or for SQL Server database. Is it possible?
Yes, it's possible, because even Microsoft Defender for Cloud it is segmented nowadays. So we have Defender for Cloud for server workload. We have Defender for Cloud for database. So what the central one that governs your subscription is not possible. For you to do that, you need to buy the standalone license. The standalone Defender for servers, Defender for SQL servers, Defender for maybe containerization and all that. But the central one that is applied to your entire subscription is not possible, because as long as your resources are deployed into that subscription, it is automatically governed by the Microsoft Defender for Cloud.
All right, thank you so much for that. So I have a question in the chat by Femi. Femi said that, which is cost effective for a startup in your opinion?
Okay, now for startup, I will not really give you a straight answer to that, because it all depends on what you want. As a startup, and as cloud resources are, it is always advisable to start small. When you start small, you can now scale. Now, as a startup, you can leverage the 30 days trial to find out if Defender for Cloud is really what you need. So if 30 days is enough for you to understand that, oh, okay, this is really paying off or not. So if it's not paying off, you can also actually disable it. You can actually do away with it, not continue. Now, another one is that you can also opt in for the individual licenses, those stand alone. If you want to protect a set of servers, you can actually go for Defender for Cloud for servers. I believe I'm able to do justice to your question, Femi.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think there's a follow-up question that is coming from Chisom. But while I'm waiting for that question to be typing, the follow-up questions on this. In my organization, okay, let's say I only have on-premise servers. I don't have servers hosted on Azure. Can I use Defender for Cloud to also manage those servers on-prem?
Yes, you can use Defender for Endpoint. Defender for Endpoint works for on-premises as well. Now, before now, you know, we had Defender, we have Microsoft normal Windows Defender that were built into that are built into our Windows OS automatically, but they are not scalable. So the scalable versions of those Windows Defender, you can go for Defender for Endpoint. So I like personally, if real life scenario, I've helped customers deploy Defender for Endpoint. So you just count the number of endpoint devices. Endpoint means the on-premises devices that you have. There's one for server. When you get the one for server, and then you go for the endpoint, which is the users connected in your network. So you can actually use that for on-premises.
Okay, so is there like a connection between Defender for Cloud and Defender for Endpoint? Is there like a connection in between both of them?
Yes, I will not really say, because the one that is within your Microsoft Azure environment, Azure subscription, except you have a side-to-side connection between this one, the one on the Microsoft Defender for Cloud within your subscription, to the one on premises. That when they can talk to each other. But those standalone cannot talk to this one that you have on your subscription, except they are connected.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So I have a question from Chisom. Chisom said that I would like to ask, is it possible to get into someone's environment with MFA enabled, even when you are the only one with the authenticator?
Now, is it possible to get into? It is not possible if maybe your phone or your app is not compromised. For instance, this authenticator app that we have is, let's assume you put two-step verification method, like the authenticator app and the SMS. That's why I always advise, when I was speaking, I said, always recommend two. So now if someone break into your phone is lost, and someone have access to your authenticator app. And even if this authenticator app that you use, if you had enabled fingerprint, like in my phone, I have fingerprint already tied into my authenticator app. So even when my phone is lost, the person cannot access it. So I don't think it's possible. It's not possible, Chisholm. If you put up the security measures in place, that is not when it is not possible. But it is possible when you are not putting up the prerequisite in place, when you are not following those security measures. So it's possible. Can you expand it further? Okay, between on-premises and cloud. Okay, so point-to-point connection. Okay, so point to site, let's call it point to site. Point to site, VPN is available in two. We have site to site, we have point to site. So point to site is when you are connecting your Azure to endpoint devices within your network on premises. Now I want my remote workers. I have remote workers spread across all the world. So, and I have workloads on my Azure. I want my workers across the globe to talk to resources on Azure. So if that's with the scenario, I can adopt a point to site connectivity. Now, if I have on-premises on-premises workload that are stagnant at my headquarters, maybe headquarters in Lagos. I have office there, headquarters. Now, I want my workers to talk to, within this headquarters, to talk to resources on Azure. I can opt in for site-to-site connectivity. Timmy, does that answer your question? Okay, so like Emmanuel said, we have another section coming up by 5. So I would like everyone to join that section. I don't know, I think we have, let me share the link in case we don't have it.
So the session still continues on
so
our
section
security.
Still continues. Yeah.
On security,
okay, Emmanuel,
talking about Azure Key Vault encryptions, and we have one of our amazing speakers, Titi Lope, that'll be taking us on that particular session. So you don't want to miss that session. Again, so the link will be shared with us in the chat. So you can join that section with our Microsoft Azure experts, Titi Lope Bello, that'll be taking us on that session. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining this particular session. We really appreciate your time. We hope that it's actually insightful for you, as it is insightful for us as well, because I've actually learned a lot about Defender for Cloud with the connection to Defender for Endpoint. Thank you so much, Imo, for your time. And I think the link is shared in the chat, so we can join the other session, so that while we wait for our speakers for that particular session. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you for having me. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.